Good evening. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, the Board Secretary caused notice of the meeting to be given to the public and the press on January 8th, 2018. Mr. Clark, will you please call the roll?
Mrs. Cornelison?
Here.
Mr. Donner?
Here.
Mrs. Gammarickian?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Munoz?
Here.
Mrs. Rubin? Mrs. Shanis?
Here.
Mrs. Turnbull?
Here.
Mr. Silverstein?
Here. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming tonight. I did not expect this kind of turnout to get our breakdown of the Robinson Cano Edwin Diaz trade, but we will be no, we're not starting with that. This is everybody's favorite meeting of the year, where we get to recognize our young artists and see the great work that they're doing in all our schools. So we've got a little bit of housekeeping and a couple of other things before we get to that, so sit tight. Mr. Clark, any communications?
Just a few items. The first is New Jersey School Board Association, Ready, Set, Bargain. Actually, that was last week, but if there is another program coming up if you'd like to attend, and I'll make sure that you have that. Second is New Jersey School Board Association, their weekly program update, November 19th. That was part of your packet. New Jersey School Board Association School Board Notes, November 21st and 28th. That was they were both part of your packet. Garden State Coalition of Schools, News and Notes, November 19th. That was part of your packet. National School Boards Association, National Connection Daily, November 19th through November 30th. They're all part of your packet. You received also a notice to property owners, the dental orthodontic offices. The sign will be adjusted, so they will have a hearing down at Town Hall regarding that. We're right next door here at the high school. And then the last is FMG Winter Drama production of The Lion King Jr. That will be performed here at the Jonathan Dayton High School Auditorium, December 14th and 15th. Both shows are at 7 p.m.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 19th, 2018.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mr. Munoz. Any discussion on the minutes? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Everybody here? Okay. Motion passes. Oh, one abstention. Motion passes. Got it, Matt?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. DeVino, Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you. First order of business, I wanted to pass around to the board some photographs regarding a project that our students at the high school in the Medical Careers Club participates in yearly. They have and collect and bring holding. You're going to see pictures of them holding comfort blankets for pediatric patients, arts and crafts, and cookie trays for the medical staff during their annual service project. And the student-run a cappella group, the Amplitone a cappella group for JDHS, performed singing holiday songs at Overlook Hospital for the patients. So I will pass that around, have the board members take a look at it. Those pictures are up on the website, so anyone else who would like to see photographs of our students participating in community service, it's on our website. The second item, some of you may or may not have heard about or experienced, your children may be experiencing at various levels. We are participating with a group known as kinful.org in social emotional learning and the appreciation of various cultures, etc., but taking it to another level that goes beyond simply activities and exercises, etc., but includes technology and ways that technology can inform and advance the concepts of appreciation of our similarities in the cultural backbone to everyone's family and what the expectations are coming from different family scenarios, etc. Some of that will be forthcoming in future presentations. Tonight I'm going to ask the principals to kind of step up, and we'll go through. It's a very, very short but precise presentation on the beginning stages of kinful. So who's up first, Matt? Walton?
Hey, Scott. I can turn it for you. Can you get that microphone on, Principal?
Thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. So Kinful, bringing the world together. Kinful addresses the social emotional learning to promote academic achievement as is the key to interpersonal understanding. The Kinful curriculum uses virtual reality and game activities to unlock 5 social emotional competencies through experimental learning: relationship skills, self-management, social awareness, responsible decision-making, and self-awareness. The Kinful curriculum is built on 3 pillars to work best to unlock social emotional competencies as intercultural exchange, virtual reality, and social emotional learning. At Walton, grades K-2 students focus on the 5 social emotional learning competencies by utilizing and exploring the Kinful skill-based management techniques through games and activities. Preschool students are just now being introduced with Kinful, and they too will explore social emotional learning through strategic games and activities. The following 4 slides are examples of grades K-2 students exploring through Kinful. In kindergarten, social awareness. Spot It, a card game of symbols and a buzzer. The first person to call out the symbol in common wins. First grade, self-management. Blind draw. 2 students sit back to back with whiteboards. One person describes what is being drawn, while the partner follows along and draws on their whiteboard. Once finished, students compare how similar and different the drawings turned out. And in second grade, social awareness. Story cube. Students take turns rolling story cubes, which are a series of images, and making up a story using what the words on the dice say. And again, social awareness. The Ungame uses 2 separate decks of cards of conversation starters. Deck 1 consists of lighthearted dialogue, while Deck 2 has questions that can push for a more interesting conversation. Thank you.
I'm not going to read that whole slide, so if we go to the next slide, I'll just explain the picture. So both at Sandmeyer and Caldwell, we're involved in lessons through the relationship skills module, and in that module, the students put on the virtual reality goggles and watch videos of students in other classrooms just to see how they collaborate with one another, communicate with one another. What you see here are our students in our schools working on an activity, a couple of different activities. This particular slide shows them working on an activity where 4 or 5 different students would hold onto a string that was attached to a rubber band, and they had to expand the rubber band so that it came over a plastic cup, and then they had to work together to build a pyramid out of those plastic cups. So that's what you see here on this particular slide. Some other activities, the human knot you see here, where students held hands in various twisting of the arms, and then they had to work together to untwist themselves by communicating with one another, collaborating with one another, and they weren't allowed to remove their hands from one another. So they really had to work together to make that happen. And then the next slide is what we call the Slinky Walk. So if you're familiar with Slinky, which I'm guessing we all are, they had to form a line and put their hands in position to make the Slinky go down basically a staircase of hands. So that was the Slinky Walk. And then Sandmeyer did similar activities, all the same ones that I just described. The photo up in the upper left-hand corner was a maze. There were a couple of little marbles in this maze, and again, similar to that pyramid activity, students held onto a string and had to manipulate the maze so that the marbles went through the maze and got to the end. That was a really difficult one. But it really showed their perseverance, their collaboration, their communication to make it happen. And then, of course, you see some of the students with the goggles on. It's always fun watching elementary kids with the goggles. Actually, anybody with virtual reality goggles on. But you see these students watching some of the videos I described earlier.
Okay, at the middle school, hopefully you'll be able to see the transition to and the evolution of the program. During our Week of Respect, we have a contest, grade level contest, where students make videos, slogans, and things around a particular logo or motto. This year is Choices Matter. So in October, we had an assembly with the choir singing interesting pieces, and those are some of the movies that they came up with. Those scripts then went to a committee. They are being selected, and those students are now working them out. So now our students can start making our own virtual reality videos to experience through the Kinful goggles that are absolutely pertaining to our school. Some of the topics that are in the 6 to 8 scripts that are being worked out now, social stereotyping, group inclusion, exclusion, who gets invited to a party, who doesn't, breaking down of barriers, is titled The New Kid to the School, vaping and peer pressure, as well as academic integrity, which is plagiarism, copying homework, things like that. And we're really looking at it from 3 angles: the perpetuator, the victim, and the person that it looks like from the outside. So we want to take these and flesh them out that way. Also with the kit, our kids also tried to build the rubber band pyramid, only it was slightly more difficult. We had to build it, take it down, turn it, and then put it back together again. I think the next slide, Matt, was the Slinky game. This was all under relationships and working together, much like in the middle school, so we were incorporating both. And then the virtual reality one, next one, Matt, was this one was particularly a middle school of adolescents in South Africa, dealing with some of the same adolescent problems as a way of a model for what their virtual reality videos are going to look like. Okay.
Okay, then Jonathan Dayton High School. What you see here in this picture is just a small portion of our rather large student body or student community that's working on these videos. This group right here is our members of our Springfield Leadership Club, and what they've done, or what they're working on, is creating videos that will reflect some of the situations or issues that are common to our students here at Jonathan Dayton High School, or to students that they interact with, surrounding bullying behavior, harassment, intimidation. And then wanting to create a virtual reality video from the 3 perspectives, as Mr. Kelty alluded to, of the victim, the bystander, and then also the perpetrator. And one of the things that we really want to focus on is really trying to push people to be upstanders. With the Week of Respect, one of the things that we did was we took a upstanders pledge following a presentation that was given by the Tyler Clemente Foundation. And so that's a theme that we're going forward with. So what you see here are our students just becoming familiar with the perspective of putting these goggles on. And if you never put them on, you have to give it a go. The first time I put it on, I found myself in a hot air balloon floating around, and it was a little unnerving at first. It takes some getting used to. And so as I'm working my way through the screen, understanding how to navigate the system, I get a phone call, and I'm thinking that it's happening inside the virtual reality. It's very real. So what we're hoping is that in creating these situations, we're able to, add to what we're already doing and trying to help students to be more empathetic and caring individuals with a very powerful tool here that will, again, enhance what we're already doing here at Jonathan Dayton High School and in the district. Thank you.
just to give you some insight as the kids work on this from a technology perspective, something I hadn't even thought about, but when the kids act out the scripts, you have kids that are interacting with each other, and you have to wear a camera, almost like what's the name of that? GoPro. The difference is if I'm wearing the camera filming someone, they can't be wearing a camera because it would show. And so the kids have begun to understand that in the creation of this, the technology takes on certain dynamics. So you're filming things twice from different perspectives. How are you going to then edit that and create this visual final product that will convey the feelings and the understandings that you're hoping to convey through your script and through your experience. So this particular experience goes a lot further than simply games and exercises to experience collaboration and differences and similarities in cultures and life, but also ways to manifest that, how to get that image across and that concept across to someone else, and to give people who are utilizing the film that you create an opportunity to appreciate the message that you're sending from someone that may or may not be an individual that you've ever had the opportunity to interact with. And in particular, the kids that observed teenage kids in an African school experiencing the same social emotional issues that they're experiencing and giving them an opportunity to explore that dynamic. So it's a really exciting program, and we expect to see a lot of good things coming out of it.
That's great. I know from hearing from the kids, or at least from my kids who are working on the videos, creating the videos, they're excited about the opportunity to create, not only from technological perspective, but also, as you said, from what they're hoping to show and what they're hoping to get out of it as creating the content, but also the kids that are going to use it and experience that. So I'll be excited to see how things turn out when the product's done. And I think we're ready to move on to
We are
the main
ready
event
to
of the
move
evening.
on to the main event, yes. So we will ask Dr. Coppola to come up with Ms. Krinner, our art teacher. And just so everyone knows, at the conclusion of a school, we're going to ask the winners to come up with the art teacher and the principal to take a group photo of the entire school.
Yeah, just next to, all right?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So this first one is done by Aubrey Prarsarn, and she's in pre-K. Should she come up? All right, and the second one is by Reese Gerson, who is also in pre-K. All right, and this one is by Mara Crystal, who's in kindergarten. Good job. Oh my goodness, so many strong friends. And then this is by Camilla Fallos, who is also in kindergarten.
Bring those over.
And this is Gabriella Albadala in first grade. Come on over. You look so nice. Congratulations. And this is Valerie Castro in first grade. Congratulations, Valerie. And we have Blake Arcroft in second grade. Sure, Blake is here. And last but not least, Judy Muhammad, who's in second grade. All right. My friends, why don't you go by your artwork? Go ahead, go stand by it. Yeah?
I know, I told you it was big. Is it bigger than the TV like we talked about? Yeah, it's bigger than the TV. Put it right in front of you. Go ahead. Gabriella, do you want to hold yours? Hold it, it's a little heavy. Here. Put it down so we can see that beautiful face. There you go. You good? Big smiles. Wait, and then you're gonna have to look this way. This way. Sit down, go back. Right here.
Kim Noto will present the Caldwell and Sandmeyer.
I have a pretty loud voice, so I'm gonna get used to the mic. So in third grade, we have Victoria Santos. And then in fourth grade, we have Samantha Senato. And in fifth grade, Jules Keller Orlando. Congratulations. All right, ready? Okay, wait. Can we go this way? All right. All right. Good job. And then from Sandmeyer. Okay. In third grade, we have Austin Lewis. And then in fourth grade, we have G. Lieberman. Okay. And in fifth grade, Sarah Yerkusin. All right. We got one. All right. Okay, and one more over here. All right, congratulations.
FMG's winners are going to be presented by Mr. Leonard Gabriel.
Good evening. What a great time to be able to celebrate our artists. It's a great opportunity. For sixth grade, we have Maya Dvorak. Congratulations, Maya. And Noah Zyrugschlag. For seventh grade, we have Celeste Palermo. No, that's the other one. Yes. And Layla Lopez. Congratulations, Layla. And for eighth grade, we have Aspen Lee. And Julia Gage. Congratulations to all the FMG holiday card winners. The last one. Yeah, okay. There's no way to get there. There we go. How's that?
Turn right.
And this way, just look this way.
Really ridiculous. That one on the left, that kid can sell that.
I'll tell you, got a happy little kid. Two hairs in some air, Happy Mountains, Burberry Fest, all that, Art Bob Ross Jack.
Okay, at Jonathan Dayton High School in the graphic design class, in the 11th grade, we have Alexa Montagna. In the 12th grade, we have Rebecca Greenman. Also in the 12th grade, we have Maria Gersbowski. And she was out, Julia Horowitz. Oh, sorry. I didn't see it.
Get together, scrunch up.
Wait, I just need one more this way. Thank you. That's okay.
You could sell that. You should contact them.
Sure, why not? Oh, it's my life. Okay, this is from the Visual Art Department, and we'll start off with our 10th grade students that are in Foundations of Studio Art. It would be Jeremy Grice. It's right here, Dr. Francis. Oh, there we go. Congratulations. And second in Foundations of Studio Art would be Jose Miguel Soncion. Congratulations. And then in our AP Studio Art class, we have Marianne D'Angelo. Congratulations. And then Gabriela Zambrano Ortigon. Okay, I want to tell you that Gabriela is also president of the National Art Honor Society and also a Dayton Collegiate Academy student. Okay,
Before everybody goes, I just wanted to thank the art teachers and principals for being here, and the art teachers obviously for fostering our students' love of art. This is a great opportunity to see the progression from pre-K all the way up to senior year of high school. And for those of you who have students at Walton, to get to see what your kids are going to be able to do by the time they get to the high school. And for those of you who have older kids at the high school, to kind of remember what it was like back in the early days of Walton. So thank you all for coming. We'll take a couple of minute break here and let people who don't want to stay for the business portion clear out. You're all welcome to stay, please do. But I know there are probably a couple of kids who still have homework tonight, so we'll take a couple of minutes.
After we reconvene. It's all right. Do you want to do it now? Jackie will witness it. Here, PTA meetings, only 30 people. So that's usually more like 7. Well,
It's up to 70 now, so.
I was able to take
It feels better. What he had to do was he had to adjust the outside temp. I told you, because of the outside temp, it's how the units grab the outside temp. It's at the worst temperature right now. It won't go ahead and adjust. Right now, it thinks, well, if you want 70, you want full 70. Because I didn't know what you guys. That's not what you want.
I think rail I said, I want to go. Handstand.
Count down.
This is like giveaway, right? It's a giveaway.
You gargle with it, it just numbs your whole No, so I try not to use that because it's really not very
I move to accept and approve the superintendent's report as presented.
Moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mrs. Cornelison. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The superintendent's report is accepted and approved. Public input on agenda items. If any of the remaining members of the public would like to come up and address any item on the agenda, now is a great time to do it. But seeing none, we'll move to the business portion. Mr. Donner, Finance.
Sure, I move motions 1 through 3.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Donner, seconded by Mrs. Cornelison. We don't need a roll call on these, Matt, right? All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion's passed. Thank you. Mr. Miller, School Government.
I move items 1 through 7 with a roll call vote.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Mrs. Gamarikian. Any discussion on these 7? Want to thank Marie Madden and the Madden family for their donation. Any other discussion? All right, Mr. Clark?
Mrs. Cornelison?
Yes.
Mr. Donner?
Yes.
Mrs. Gamarikian?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Munoz?
On all of them?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't know what it is, though, but, okay, you abstain. Mrs. Rubin?
Yes.
Mrs. Shanis?
Yes.
Mrs. Turnbull?
Yes.
Mr. Silverstein?
Yes, motion's passed. Thank you. Back to open public session on any item at all. All right, seeing none, we will move to
Tell me.
new business. First, I think we have old business. We mentioned at the last meeting we were going to do the annual board holiday dinner. I think we've got a conflict on Monday with the venue, and I understand the new proposal is Thursday night?
The 13th.
Thursday the 13th. Does that work for everybody? At Sophia's at 6?
Yeah, Mr. Clark needs to confirm that.
I'm just gonna say that, I've got to confirm.
Right, pending confirming with them. Does that work for everybody here?
I have class, so have fun.
Okay, well, come by after class. What time do you get out?
Class is from 7 to 9, but maybe I'll come by before class. I can swing by and say hi.
All right. And hope you guys will be able to join us as well. All right, so we'll hear back from Mr. Clark, but erase the pencil that you put for Monday and pencil it in for Thursday.
Yeah, so that's December 13th, Sophia's, and 6:15. Okay?
6:15?
No, well.
I thought we were doing
had
6.
6:15
We
for
did have
Monday,
6:15?
but we had it for Monday for 6:15. Do you want 6? We'll go with 6.
That's like
6
early
help.
in the morning. I had two parties now.
All right, 6 helps you get there beforehand.
I can swing if it's at 6. I can come.
All right,
Okay, so all
let's do
set for
6 and
6.
Scott can
Okay.
join us for appetizers.
God, I
No,
love
not
breakfast.
AM. I don't do
love
6 a.m.
breakfast.
You can get up and do breakfast with Mickey. I am not.
I'm already up at 5 a.m., so hey, give me one.
I have a holiday party on Monday, Thursday, and Friday.
Heavy.
You are so popular. You're so popular.
Any other old business or any business other than Christie's social schedule? Do we?
And our last meeting was
A reminder on FMG musical.
I mean, mine.
Yeah, that's a good point. Matt mentioned it earlier, but the FMG musical, The Lion King Jr., is here at the high school December 14th and 15th. Have tickets gone on sale already?
they have.
And brown paper tickets?
Yes.
All right, go to Brown Paper Tickets, search for FMG, get your tickets now. If the tickets up front have gone quickly, I highly recommend the balcony seating. You have a great view and there's nobody in front of you. So that, for what that's worth, that's my Yelp review of the balcony. Any other new business, old business? We
No,
have
one piece, policy. We were in touch with Strauss Esme last week just to see where they are. They expect to have the packet back to us really just prior to the next meeting. So once I have it, I'm sending it out.
Okay, and then is
Okay.
the goal to do first
The
reading?
goal is to do first reading December 17th.
Okay, so just so the public's aware, because they're going to see an agenda that has the entire policy manual. The board has been working for the last 2.5 years on revising the entire policy manual, going policy by policy to revise, update, and adopt a different numbering system aligned with the majority of the districts in the state. At the next meeting, the goal would be to do the first reading, accept those policies on first reading. That'll then give us at least two meetings for us and to go through and check and see if there's any